Do you want to be escorted out
You're
of here?
Violating my First Amendment rights.
Talking.
You are violating my First Amendment rights.
That's your opinion.
And now we've got to talk about one of the craziest violations of the First Amendment I've ever seen caught live on camera. You guys let me know what you think of this crazy story down in Arizona in the comments below. Have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever been to your city council meetings? I do want to know. This is footage from a city council meeting in Surprise, Arizona, where a woman went to complain about a public official and was shut down and even threatened with arrest and forced out of the building by a security or police officer for simply exercising her First Amendment rights. I typically don't like to play super long clips because I want to intersperse it with my commentary and keep it live, but I don't really know a better way to do this other than to just show you the full 4 or 5 minute video. So let's take a look at that and then we'll meet back here to discuss. All right, now it's time for Brad versus TikTok, my segment where I take on the craziest ideas from the Clock app.
So I'm going to take this time. I know you guys need to go into e-session, so out of respect for that. The item that I had requested to speak on earlier was during the consent agenda, item number 6, as it pertains to the contract of employment for the city attorney. So I'm going to start this off with, in the contractual agreement with Mr. Robert Wingo, there is a stipulation that says he can renegotiate his pay rate for an exceptional job. Cambridge University defines exceptional as something that is much greater than usual, especially in skill, intelligence, quality, etc., i.e. what is not expected of somebody in a role. And I have concerns with allocating more funds to him specifically for a few different reasons. Point number 1 is, according to an article that was published in the Surprise Independent just shy of 12 months ago by Jason Stone, the city attorney is the second highest paid individual in the entirety of the City of Surprise employees. And at that time, he was listed at making about $266,000 annually. Where this becomes important is he is 11th overall in the entire state, and he actually only makes $10,000. Again, at the time of the article was printed, less than the attorney in Scottsdale. And Scottsdale has about 100,000 people larger than what Surprise covers. Recent months have uncovered numerous violations or alleged violations in blatant disregard, I would say, for not only the Arizona revised statutes, the state bar rules of professional conduct, but also the Arizona state constitution and the Bill of Rights at the federal level. Title 16, I won't rehash everything, but we are all too well and familiar with what took place during the election season and the violations thereof. City clerk is our elections officer. Nothing was done with the violations, and the city attorney did nothing as far as that. Title 9 and 38 have conflict of interest pieces of information, and it was deemed that there was a conflict of interest. Title 39, there are numerous public records requests that I have open right now that are, quote, pending legal review that I am entitled to request.
I've got to interrupt you here because...
Okay, are you going to stop the timer?
This is the public meeting forum that you agree to when you speak, and I want to read this to you, that there are oral communications during the city council meeting may not be used to lodge charges or complaints against any employee of the city or members of the body, regardless of whether such person is identified in the presentation by the name or by any other reference that tends to identify him or her.
That's all fine, well and good, but that's a violation of my First Amendment rights.
So that's, well, this is your warning, okay?
A warning for what?
A warning for attacking the city attorney personally.
This is all factual information.
It doesn't matter.
You're violating my First Amendment rights.
This is what you agree to when you first speaking. This is the form.
It is unconstitutional, Mayor Hall.
Well, it's not unconstitutional.
It is.
And if you're
the Supreme Court has upheld. I could get up here and I could swear at you for 3 straight minutes, and it is protected speech by the Supreme Court. It is.
No, you can't.
Why don't you look at case law?
No, you can't.
I can.
So if you want to be
also the chair is engaged in debate. So point of order.
Do you want to be escorted out of here? Do you want to be escorted out of here?
You're violating my First Amendment rights.
Talking.
You are violating my First Amendment rights.
That's your opinion.
It's not a matter of opinion.
Do you want to be escorted out, Ms. Massey? Because that's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen in the future also. Anytime you attack
That's why you changed the rules.
or any.
That's why you
city-
changed the rules.
This has been on the back of this form.
I understand,
all the
Mayor
time.
Hall, but that is completely unconstitutional.
No, it's
You're
not.
also engaging in debate, and so you should actually be
Anyway,
yielding the floor to somebody else
okay.
managing.
Chief, could you have somebody come down here and escort Ms. Massey out
Really,
of
is
this
that
chamber?
necessary?
Yes, I
In
think
front
it
of my
is.
10-year-old daughter, you're going to escort me
That's
out
fine.
for expressing my
She
First
can go
Amendment
with you.
rights.
She can go with you.
I'm not leaving.
Well,
I need you to sit down with me.
I'm expressing my first. Do not touch me. Do not put your hands on me.
I need you to sit down with me. Right
Do
now.
not put your hands on me.
Come on out.
Do not put your hands on me.
Come out with me now before you get arrested. Do you understand?
Are you detaining me?
Yes. Do you understand?
Why am I being detained? Under what charges? Under what charges?
okay, so
Hey, I have personal property.
Hold on.
You cannot touch me.
yeah, I know. She can go out there. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into E-session.
Motion to go into E-session?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're going into E-session.
This is a point-blank violation of the First Amendment. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, which disclaimer I do some work with, has a resource on their website that I'll link to in the description where they explain what rights you have at a public hearing or public comment period at a local government proceeding, and you very clearly do have the right. Whatever some stupid piece of paper says, you can't have people sign away their rights. That's not binding. That's not valid. You cannot do this. You cannot remove people because they're criticizing a government official or because of their viewpoint. If you're going to have public comment periods, you have to leave them open regardless of people's viewpoints. And in fact, criticizing your government officials that are being paid, and I don't know anything about this city attorney or whatever she's worked up about, it's actually irrelevant. She is a U.S. citizen with a First Amendment right to petition her government for redress. It's literally in the First Amendment's text. And there's nothing more typical and embodying that than what she tried to do here. And instead, she was unfairly assaulted, arrested, had her rights violated in front of her 10-year-old daughter. It's an absolute disgrace. And this mayor should be publicly shamed and, yes, sued. The folks at FIRE are going to likely sue them, and I'm wishing them the best because this kind of thing is absolutely unacceptable. And to my conservative and Republican friends who still defend qualified immunity, the government doctrine that essentially gives government officials a liability shield in most cases from personal civil liability, being sued and having to pay damages when they violate people's rights. Well, this is a great example of why we need to get rid of or at least really reform qualified immunity, because she should be able to sue this mayor who violated her rights and had her arrested, or at least, I don't know if she was actually charged with anything, but at least removed from the building by police. She should be able to sue him and have him personally have to compensate her for violating her rights. But she can't, most likely, because of qualified immunity, which is not a good thing from a limited government constitutional perspective. And I just need my conservative Republican friends who, support qualified immunity because back the blue or whatever to realize, no, we have to be able to hold our elected officials accountable.